Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, hello, my name is Sam and it's lovely to meet you. If you're not new around here, welcome back. If you haven't already guessed by today's thumbnail, we are going to be playing with a new to me indie brand. They're kind of newish as well. I think they have a few palettes before this one. But yeah, I've purchased the Rogue palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. We're going to be playing around with this today. We're going to be doing a first impression, some swatches, creating one look. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to see me do that, then please stick around. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any of my... Firstly, let's just dive in, talk about a little bit about the brand. So I believe the owner's name is Jordan. That's my dog's barking. I don't even know that. I believe the owner's name is Jordan. And she has created this brand based on everything to do with fantasy. I think she she loves like gaming, like World of Warcraft, books, all things like that, all things to do with fantasy. I think she loved fantasy from a very early age when I was reading up a little bit about the brand. And then obviously growing up, she also fell in love with makeup and she wanted to combine the two. I think she's had 3 other palettes before this one. And yeah, last year they were definitely on my radar, but I was testing newer brands and so I kind of put them a little bit to the back. Then they came out with this palette and it just really spoke to me. So I was like, it's definitely a colour story that I could get on board with. And I just really wanted to test out the formula. I've heard really good things. I've heard they had, a slow start, a bit hit and miss with like their mattes and their formulas and stuff like that. But I've heard as their palettes have gotten more, she's gotten better with her formula. So I'm really interested. Obviously I can't compare to her original palette, her first palette, just because I don't have that in my collection, but I'm definitely interested in testing this out. Now I know that she's increased her shipping rates from this palette because all of the palettes now are going to be magnetic, so they are from the US. There was a little bit of a problem with the shipping rate on this one as it was coming up like $50 something. People were like, well, why is it so expensive now? And then she put a flat rate on because USPS couldn't do it, or I don't really understand it, but they couldn't do it, so she did it herself and it was $15.99 flat rate. And then when she obviously went through the process of sorting it all out, I think the shipping has now gone up to something like $27, I think. Don't quote me on that, but everything will be linked down below, so you can always go and check that out. It's a little bit expensive for what I want to pay for shipping, but if I definitely know that I'm going to get great mattes, I'm going to get a great formula, great shimmers, nothing's going to crease on me, I'm going to love the looks that I can create, it's something that I'm willing to pay, do you know what I mean? So it all depends on, what they bring to the table going forward, whether I would persist with purchasing, because shipping is always a killer for anybody in the UK. It's really hard, but yeah, you kind of have to weigh up the bad with the good. Do you know what I mean? If you're getting a great palette, you kind of want to pay the shipping. But the only reason she's increased it again, because I know it's increased from her 3 previous palettes, is because this one is magnetic. So apparently this one is heavier, and going forward she's going to be doing magnetic palettes. I get the magnetic theme, you've got to keep up with the trend. These seem to be the new trend. Magnetic palettes are all the rage at the moment, so I get that. But I also think if you have a big worldwide, like a lot of people worldwide are buying your palettes, you'd want to keep your shipping at a lower cost. Me personally, that's just how I think I would personally do a brand. If I knew that I was shipping a lot worldwide, I'd want to keep it as cheap as possible, not to lose any customers. So I don't know, she might not, because it might be a massively great formula, and I don't know, we'll test it. We're going to test it out anyway. So let's dive into the palette. So it came with my little receipt and stuff, and then a little bit about the brand, just saying thank you and stuff like that. And I think this is just kind of gaming inspired quotes and things like that. I'm not really into gaming, so I don't even understand. This is the Rogue palette. I mean, that means absolutely nothing to me, but I was really interested in the colour story. So it comes in this beautiful sleeve. It has a 12-month shelf life. It's not tested on animals and it is made in China. I don't know if it's vegan. It doesn't say on here, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, this is what the packaging looks like. And it is a beautiful, cute little 9-pan. There is a little mirror inside, which I absolutely love. If you're new to my channel, I love a mirror. But yeah, this is what the colour story looks like. I love green and blues, those murky tones. I really love it. And those shimmers, just let's get in, let's swatch this palette, and then let's just create an eye look together. My camera was not filming, so I do apologise. I basically have just picked up this Softly shade. I'm going to pick it up on the other eye just so you can see that this wasn't, this is very, very pigmented, if you can see, because I was talking about how pigmented the shade was. This is going to be our transition shade. I'm going to try and use as many shades as possible. Not much kick up in the pan, which I do like. Let me know down in the comments, have you purchased from this brand? Does the shipping price matter to you? Yeah, I always like to know, because obviously it's just such... It's hard, because if they're a good brand and you're getting good shadows, you know, I kind of don't mind. You know, I don't know. Yeah, this shadow is just going on absolutely effortlessly. I've realised now that I've got a purple top on, and I am doing blue. I might do purple on the lower lash line just to tie in with my outfit for today, but I'm just going ahead and just blending that shade out. But like I say, it's super, super pigmented and barely any kick up in the pan. Blended out absolutely fine. Didn't blend away. You know, some pastel-y type shades, like when you start blending, you can find that the colour disappears. That one didn't, so I was really impressed. We're gonna go in with the shade Shadows next, just because I really want to play with as many colours as I can, and this is gonna go through the crease. Again, I feel like these shadows are going to be really pigmented. So we're just going to build it if we can. That's what I want to do. Rather than going in heavy-handed like I always do. Just creating like a nice contrast between the two colours. Has kind of overtaken that blue a little bit, but we can add some of that back at the end. This is just basically me packing the colours on and seeing where we go. It has got a little bit patchy. But I do have wrinkly eyelids, so I do like to play around with the palette like a few times, just to make sure, you know. It has got a little bit patchy though, just there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Nothing like major, that's just me being nitpicky. It's blended into that blue really nice though. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I think that's what they were saying. When I've watched like reviews and stuff of the other palettes, I don't think her mattes were, you know, as good quality as what they could be. But they've gotten better apparently, so. But I haven't watched any, have I watched any reviews on this palette? I don't think I have. I tend not to be quite honest. I tend not to watch like many reviews unless it's a palette where I'm like, shall I buy it, shall I not? You know, I tend not to watch reviews because I like to have my own sort of opinion on the palette, if that makes sense. Don't want to be watching other people's reviews and then just agreeing with what they're saying. And like, now that I've used this palette, I'll definitely go ahead and check out like other people's reviews and see what they think. Yeah, it hasn't gone as patchy on that side, but yeah. Just going to make sure that those are blended in together nicely. Like I say, it's not like drastically noticeable. I'm literally just noticing because I'm sat here obviously doing it. Just went back in and added a little bit more of that light blue shade, and it packed on top absolutely fine. It didn't create any problems, so that was brill. Now I think I'm going to take the shade Cunning. Did I say that was called Shadows? I can't remember. The deep blue in here, I'm going to take that. That is Cunning. See whether... This one feels a little bit more dry when I'm smushing it in the pan. I don't know if this is going to overtake that green shade, but we'll see. I like to be able to see how shadows pack on top of each other. I mean, these shadows are pigmented, you know, off the first bat, like you can definitely tell I've just added another colour to that outer corner. So they're definitely pigmented. No question about it. Whether they... I mean, I'm not noticing, like I've put 3 colours on my lid, and can you tell I've put 3 colours on my lid? You know what I mean? I mean, the swatches, I think, you know, you could really tell, but I don't know. I don't know now. Are they a little bit too close? When, like, you know, when you're blending them out, they're blended out to be quite similar to each other. Okay. I'm just going to go through my shades now, make sure that everything is blended, and hopefully nothing has gotten lost. I don't think it has, but yeah, I definitely can't notice much now that I've packed on the blue shade. It kind of has diffused that green shade, and you can't really tell that green shade's even there anymore. But that could just be like me packing it on too heavily. But I'll go back through the shades and see whether we can create some kind of look where you can see, you know, the different shades. It's definitely there, but it's just kind of not there. Let's see what we can do. So it blended out okay. And I think that you can see the gradients. They haven't like created too much of a muddy mess, but yeah, I think if I kept going, it would end up getting like really, really muddy and stuff like that. Obviously, this is a new brand to me, so it's a new matte formula. I'm going to test it out. I'm not just going to, you know, bitch about it on the first impressions, because first impressions, it's not bad. I'm going to go in with my Pat McGrath Intensify stick now and test out these shimmers. Now, I feel like these shimmers are where the party's at. Do you know what I mean? These shimmers are... They swatch beautifully. They're definitely different formulas, which I love when palettes do that, brands do that. Like they put different shimmer formulas in. I just really like that. Olden's I do it, and I think it's absolutely amazing. Norman Cosmetics do it. I just think it's brilliant, basically. I'm gonna go in. These are obviously like more duochromic first. I think I might go in with Sneak Attack, which is, oh, just look at that. That's so beautiful. I'm going to put this like here. That is some stunning shimmer. That is beautiful. That is pigmented. It has gone on absolutely beautifully. It is a stunning multi-chrome. I'm getting green, blue, purple. Oh, that is beautiful, I'm not gonna lie. And then I think next to it, shall I go in with Trickster? Now this one feels a lot more like crumbly. Can you see it's like it's starting to like break away, so that's a little bit concerning. But just wow, holy smokes, these shimmers, they know. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Okay, that definitely brought it back, and it's just blended in as well. It's a little bit chunkier, this one is. It's showing up texture on my lid. I don't personally mind that, but it just lays down like, that is just so beautiful. Wow, I could actually bathe in that colour. That is just amazing. Absolutely flipping amazing. I think I'm going to put that on the inner corner as well, just because it is the lightest shade in the palette, but it's just very, very crumbly. That's a bit of a shame, but you know, I mean, holy smokes. I'll do my lower lash line, but I'll probably end up doing it again because, no I won't. What I'll do is I'll head off camera now, do my base makeup, test out a new foundation today. So yeah, I'm going to do my base makeup. This shade has a lot of fallout, by the way, so I would definitely suggest, I mean, look at that, I'd definitely suggest doing your eyes first. But yeah, so far so good with those shimmers. Those shimmers are stunning. Let me head off now, do my base makeup, and then I'll come back and do the lower lash line with you. This is the completed look using the Fantasy Cosmetica Rogue palette. As always, everything will be linked and listed down in the description box of what is on my face today, unless it is discontinued, like the shadow stick that I've used in my waterline today. This was the Disney and Beauty Bay collaboration. These have unfortunately now discontinued, so I can't link those. On my lips, I have gone in with the MUA lip liner in the shade Obsession and Pat McGrath lipstick in the shade Executive Realness. But everything else will be linked down below. So let's dive in to what I think, first impressions of the palette. I think the packaging is really, really stunning. I think it's really, really cute. And I think if you're into gaming, you're probably going to obviously really take something from this. But to me, it's just a really nice packaging. Yeah, so I used these two shimmers. They were absolutely stunning. I will say I've had this makeup on like an hour now, and those shimmers have already transferred. So if you don't like that, if you have hooded eyes, if that really annoys you, then maybe you're not going to like it. But I will test it out with my NYX glitter glue to see whether the same thing happens again. Obviously, I only use my Intensify stick today. That kind of just intensifies the shimmers. It doesn't necessarily stick them into place. So I definitely, next time I use it, I'll use the glitter glue to see whether the same thing happens again. It doesn't really bother me, to be quite honest, as long as it doesn't look a mess, which I don't think it does. It doesn't really bother me that it just transfer up. But yeah, the mattes are definitely on the drier side. I do think if you kept blending and blending and blending, it would create quite a muddy mess. You know, whereas sometimes some palettes you can just keep blending as much as you like. Whereas this one, you know, I've definitely got to learn how the mattes work. They're very, very pigmented. Obviously, I only use these three on the top lid, and then I use this one on the lower lash line. I was really impressed with how pigmented that purple actually was, and how nice it stands out on that lower lash line. But yeah, the mattes are okay quality. They're not the best quality that I have matte formulation wise, but I'll definitely play around with them some more, and hopefully I can figure out the best way. Next time I'll probably go in with my deepest shade first and see whether that works out a little bit better. But they're not a bad matte. They're not a bad matte formula at all. I just think they need a little bit of work, and I just need to learn how they perform. So overall, yeah, I really enjoyed playing around with that palette, and I cannot wait to create some more looks with you guys. Just bear with me, because I have got another new palette that has come. You know, I'm also testing foundations and stuff like that. It's a very, very busy time at the moment, but bear with me because it definitely will be coming hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I think that wraps up everything for today. I hope that you really enjoyed it. I hope that you stuck along. I hope that you stuck with me till the end, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.